The Hogwarts Ghosts are some of the most interesting characters from the Harry Potter series, but they do tend to fade into the background, especially in the movies, with the Grey Lady Helena Ravenclaw being the focal ghost in the Deathly Hallows. Other than that, we see very limited appearances of the rest of the ghosts, except for the first movie. There is, however, a little more info in the books, which is the main source, as we all know. But for today's video, I want to talk a little about the background of 3 ghosts in particular that I feel deserve a little more light shed on them. They all have sad histories, but their ghost stories, no pun intended, are quite interesting. Welcome back to the world of Harry Potter, everyone. Please enjoy today's video on the sad histories of Nearly Headless Nick, the Fat Friar, and the Bloody Baron, the Hogwarts Ghosts. Now, I do know that there are other ghosts, guys, but I wanted to focus on these 3 because I find their beginnings or endings quite interesting, and it can almost open a door for us to see maybe why they didn't want to move on to the afterlife. So let's start with Nearly Headless Nick, one of my all-time favourite ghosts. Nicholas the Mimsy Porpington, as he was known when he was alive, suffered quite a brutal ending for what many would consider a light-hearted error. Before we get to that, let's look at how Nick even got himself into such a position in the first place. He was born sometime in the 15th century and actually attended Hogwarts, sorted into Gryffindor House. He was quite the degenerate in his youth, which many folk noted, and he was also poor at transfiguration. However, he did mature into a gentleman and openly associated with muggles. Nicholas even became a member of King Henry VII's royal court and was also knighted. Sir Nicholas had quite an eventful and happy life until a magical error cost him dearly. While strolling in the park one day, he came across the path of Lady Grieve, a lady-in-waiting of the royal court. Lady Grieve had badly crooked teeth, and when noticing them, Sir Nicholas assured her he could fix them. Impressed by his confidence, Lady Grieve permitted Nicholas to do so. However, a lapse in wand movement caused Nicholas to make a clinical error, and instead of fixing the lady's teeth, he caused huge tusks to grow instead, which hurt and had her in severe discomfort. The king's guards immediately seized Sir Nicholas, and he was sentenced to death for his embarrassment and deformation of a lady of the royal court. Nicholas was terrified of death. He was noted to be visibly shaking and jittering the next day when being brought before the executioner. The grinding stone, in which the axe was to be sharpened, could not be located at such short notice. Therefore, the executioner's axe was blunt and unsuitable for a beheading. However, despite this, the execution was to go ahead as planned, and Sir Nicholas the Mimsy Porpington suffered a brutal and horrific death. It took 45 hacks to sever the head, and even so, it still wasn't completely cut off, and poor old Nicholas received a punishment that appeared far beyond anything he had truly deserved. Nicholas chose to become a ghost because he greatly feared death. Still, that was a pretty gruesome ending, all for a magical error, which I'm sure he could have easily amended. Next up, we have the Fat Friar. Now, like Sir Nicholas, this man's death also seemed undeserved, which I'm sure many of you may agree with. The Fat Friar's real name is unknown, but he attended Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry sometime in the 10th century and was sorted into Hufflepuff House and taught by Helga Hufflepuff herself, so he is one of the few who had the privilege to be taught by the founders and still be around today to talk about it if he wishes so. The Fat Friar always had a kind-hearted, joyous nature about him, so no surprise he was a Hufflepuff. He loved helping others and always wanted to give. He became part of a clergy in one of their mendicant religious orders, and was well liked due to his charitable nature. Even though the friar was a large man, meaning he liked to overindulge on food, He always made sure that those in need were attended to for food and water. He also used his magic to help the sick, and that kindness was to be his undoing. At a time when pox was a rampant disease, killing hundreds, the Fat Friar was capable of curing those infected with a simple wave of his wand. This alerted the already suspicious senior clergymen, who had the friar executed for his unnatural ability. The Fat Friar was in no way ready for death. He devoted his life to helping others, and was cut short quite early on. He stayed on Earth as a ghost and became the house ghost of his former house, Hufflepuff, where he remained for close to 1,000 years. He has always been known to offer assistance to any student in need. The final sad history ghost story is the tale of the Bloody Baron, probably the only ghost who deserved his fate. Well deserved it to some extent. The Baron was born sometime in the 11th century and attended Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry while it was still being run by the original 4 founders, even while Salazar Slytherin was still there. During his studies, the Baron, whose name we don't know, met and fell in love with Helena Ravenclaw, founder Rowena Ravenclaw's daughter. However, she did not return his feelings, something she made quite clear several times. Now, Helena was quite a selfish person. She was jealous of the woman her mother was. She resented her mother for the pressure she felt and the expectations she also felt she had to live up to. Helena stole her mother's diadem and ran away to Albania to begin a new life. Rowena ordered the Baron to go after her daughter, to inform her that she was ill and wished to see Helena one last time before she died. The Baron, thinking such delicate circumstances would convince Helena to return, rushed to Albania to track her down, and after some thorough searching, he finally located her and explained the situation of her mother's impending passing. Helena, to the Baron's shock and utter disbelief, outright refused to go back to Hogwarts, disconcerted with her mother's condition as she blamed Rowena for her very unhappy childhood. She displayed no sympathy whatsoever. The Baron, already known for being a short-tempered man, burst into a fit of rage, drew his knife from its holder and fatally stabbed Helena, ending her life in that very moment. After realizing what he had done, the Baron became overwhelmed with grief for killing the woman he had loved. He picked up the same knife he had used on Helena and drove the blade directly through the center of his chest, taking his own life for the life he had unjustly claimed. However, even in death, the guilt never left the Baron. He wore heavy chains to remind him of his crime, and his blood-stained clothes gained him the nickname of the Bloody Baron. His violent and ill-tempered nature also stayed with him even as a ghost, gaining the allegiance of Peeves the poltergeist, most likely due to Peeves fearing him. It is also believed he remained a ghost due to him not deserving an afterlife for his actions. And there you have it, everyone, the sad histories of the ghosts of Hogwarts. 3 people, or 3 ghosts, who chose to remain on Earth for different reasons, but with all having backstories of great interest. So I want you to tell me in the comment section below who your favourite Hogwarts ghost is, and in addition, tell me what Harry Potter means to you. I'll choose the comment I like best and I will send the winner a wand. Thanks again everyone, have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate your support. Everyone, notifications of uploads are more important than ever. So please, if you haven't already, turn those notifications on to make sure you're notified the moment my video goes live. Making videos is what I love to do. It's my dream and my passion. However, it does cost time and money to produce this content. So if you have $1 to spare to support me on Patreon in exchange for some exclusive unseen content, then you can click the Patreon link below or at the end of this video. Please only support me if you can afford it. And make sure to follow me on Instagram at InstaDNJ and on Twitter at PotterFolklore. Check out my other videos appearing on screen, and please make sure, most importantly, to hit that subscribe button. Thanks again everyone, and please have a great day.